I'm Chris, and today we're gonna change my oil. Let's do this real quick. So obviously this isn't a normal vlog. I'm gonna do a quick tutorial on how to change your oil and reset that little oil life notification in your car, and then the vlog's gonna be afterwards. Well, obviously I need to change oil on this car. One of the first things I do is grab the top of the oil box out of the glove box from the last oil change. And then I go ahead and rip the new top of the oil box off, the new oil filter. And I kind of write all this information down. I write the date, I write the type of oil, and this way I know exactly which oil filter to get for the next time. I write the type of wrench I need to get the oil plug off. This way the information's all good and I'm ready for the next oil change. I like to, at the very least, just go ahead and loosen the oil cap or just take it off completely. Sometimes I leave it like that just so dust doesn't get in there, but I want the air to be able to get into there. Get yourself something to lay on, collection device, some sort of wrench, socket wrench, whatever you might have. Sometimes you'll find that the oil plug is on there just a little bit too tight. I like to use a little bit of persuasion with just a tap of the hammer. It's usually a good idea to wear gloves when changing your oil. Once you have your oil plug off, be sure not to drop it in your oil collection container. Now, while my oil is draining, I like to go ahead and check any remaining fluids in the car and top off any that might need it. Now for this car, if you can locate the dipstick, you can locate the oil filter. I like to get the new oil filter ready and set up before I pull the old oil filter out. I like to get the O-ring out and ready to go and kind of get the box all set up with some sort of a bag or another box, something where I'm not going to leak oil all over the place and I can dispose of it properly. Now you might be able to luck out like I did and get a crescent wrench big enough to fit in there, or you might have to get a socket to fit your oil cap. But removing your drop-in filter is as simple as that. Quickly remove and dispose of the old oil filter properly. And then go ahead and remove the old O-ring for the oil filter and replace it with the new one that came with the new oil filter. Set the new oil filter back into the cover and then go ahead and replace everything back in the engine. I like to put a little bit of oil right around the O-ring just to help with the seal. Don't forget to replace and tighten up your drain plug. And dispose of your oil properly. Most places that you buy your oil from, you're most likely able to take the used motor oil back to them. Once you've replaced your drain plug, go ahead and fill your oil up to its recommended level. I like to check the oil level often as I'm filling it back up. And I also like to turn the car on for a couple seconds to let the oil run through the system, and then go ahead and check the oil level again before I'm completely finished. To reset the oil notification in your oil life, go ahead and turn the key to the on position. And then you want to press the gas pedal 3 times. And this should reset the oil life counter for you. Vlog is over. I got nothing to talk about. We changed the oil. I'm gonna do a voiceover, and then then oil change is done, and now it's just me sitting drinking an iced coffee, and it's over. It's not like changing your oil is hard or anything. It's incredibly easy. You don't even need jack stands or jack or anything if you set your car up right. Some people go ahead and drive the car, one wheel of the front tire up on a curb so they can kind of get under the car a little bit easier. I use my garage because there's a little dip down into my garage, which is not good for all the rain that comes flooding into my garage, but that's a whole separate issue. So you can do your oil change at home. I rarely jack up a car to do an oil change. I can at the very least reach my hand to where the oil plug is and be done with it. It's incredibly easy. If you're starting off owning your own vehicle, sometimes doing your own oil change is a great way to learn just regular maintenance and preventative maintenance on your vehicle. It's a nice entry point into mechanics and stuff like that. If you don't want to do it yourself and you want somebody else to do it, be my guest. I've only heard a couple of occasions where the oil change place forgot to put the oil plug back in, therefore all the oil they put into the engine came out, and then the engine seized up and you're SOL big time. So, you know, be sure they do it right, I guess, and don't fall for the whole thing of, hey, look, this is your dirty air filter thing. I mean, check your own stuff so you know what's going on, so you don't, you know, you're not, whatever, duped. Not that I'm saying anybody does that, but people are people. To be be on a motorcycle today would be very enjoyable. Except when I'm on a motorcycle, I generally have full leathers on, and I sweat my as far as I know, I mean, I don't know about new cars, your car doesn't tell you your oil level, it tells you your oil life, and that's, it doesn't know what kind of oil you put in there, it just knows for whatever the car's programmed for 3,000 or 5,000 miles, this is your oil life. As far as I know, I could be wrong on this, there could be newer technology out there, but check your own oil level. Make sure you have oil in your car, especially if you're going on a big trip or something like that over the summer months and such. You know, check your own oil level, check all your fluid levels. And doing an oil change and doing that now is a good time to do it. Like I said, this was a little bit different of a vlog today because I had to get this done. And I kind of did it as a tutorial to make it go a little bit quicker for anybody that really wants to know how to change the oil and reset that oil life thing inside the car. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what else I was going to say. Another thing I definitely recommend doing, especially before you get into somebody else's car, hence my wife's car, I drove her car one time, and we get pulled over. We're driving down the street, coming the opposite way, the cop spins around, lights us up, pulls us over. You know why I pulled you over, sir? No, I wasn't speeding, it was 35, I'm good. My inspection was 6 months. Actually, my wife's car, her inspection was 6 months overdue. 6 months. He told me, you didn't notice when you got in the car, sir, to drive that the inspection was 6 months overdue? I said, no, it's my wife's car, I didn't check that. You don't check that every time you get in the car? No, I don't check that every time I get in the car. It's like, no, I don't check that every time I get in the car. It's not a company vehicle. There's no check-off list. I don't do that. I just get in and go. If it's my car, I know when it is, but you know what? It's my wife's car. I don't pay attention to that. I should have. My fault. $150 later. My fault. Learn from my mistakes so you don't have one like this. So definitely check the inspection in your car, anybody else's car that you drive. You don't need a ticket like that. I don't know how the amount ranges, but $150, that's a lot for something so silly when it costs, at least in New York here, $21 or so to get your inspection done.